What's up, guys? It's Vito from UFO War Room, and I'm joined today by Charles McNeal. This is Charles' second time on the show. Charles, if you want to give those who haven't seen the first episode a rundown of, who you are, what you're about, and why you're considered a whistleblower.
Yeah, right on. So my name's Charles McNeal at TruthTold24 on X, and I received 8 classified briefings as part of a very, very controversial and highly classified to this day operation. It was a joint operation between OSI, Air Force OSI, and CIA called Operation Society Hike. And my handling agent, covert name was Robert May. Real name is Paul Decker. And I didn't even know I was being recruited to become an NTO of the secret space program. I didn't know. I thought my childhood mentor was just like revealing stuff to me and giving me these classified briefings as like somebody he could finally tell something to because he knew me and he trusted me and I was young and finally had, like a little protege or whatever. I didn't find out till I came forward much later, through other people, including Richard Doty. Say what you want about him, but at least he does tell the truth no matter what orders he used to take during deception operations. But anyways, I've been in touch with, Congressman Burleson and others, and we've reached out to David Grush and a bunch of people. Like I've had conversations with a bunch of people. I've been interviewed by Linda Moulton Howe. That never was allowed to come out. Just a bunch of stuff,
wow,
man.
Okay.
And all I try to do is just tell the truth, let it just fall away land and prepare for what's coming. It's not a game.
Now, what did you think of David Grush? When you said you actually got to speak to him?
I didn't get to speak to David Grush myself. It was really crazy how it went down. So I'm gonna call on my team. My team put together this 78-page dossier about me and emailed it to a personal email for David Grush.
Oh, awesome.
If we were able to obtain. And instead of him responding, Steve Bassett actually contacted somebody else connected to my team and sent them like the 6-minute long audio recording about me saying how like this is not going to happen. He is not going to testify. We already have our whistleblowers. Like we're not letting this happen. Didn't say nothing bad about the information I gave.
For those at home, who is Steve Bassett to give the importance?
Steve Bassett is known as Congress's first ever UFO liaison or lobbyist for the United States, for Congress itself. Okay. And he's a lobbyist, really, officially anyway.
Okay, because
1996.
I'm asking this.
He became a lobbyist for that.
I'm asking this also because this dude literally just hit me up on LinkedIn for a connect out of nowhere, and I had no idea who he was. I just saw he had a bunch of UFO connections, so I accepted it. Okay. All right, this is weird. Okay, I'm sorry.
Steve Bassett hit you up?
Yeah, dude, he hit me up, but he followed me on fucking LinkedIn. Yes, 100%.
Listen, I told Danny Sheehan probably like a month ago, maybe a month and a half. No, it's longer than that. About 2 months ago. Yeah, time flies. So I told him, I said, "Listen, do you know Steve Bassett?" He's like, "Yeah, I do. That's my friend." And I said, "Okay, well, Then I told him what happened that I just explained, and I said, "I think he's gatekeeping me." I do, because he didn't even shoot down the information. He literally told the person on the recording, said, now's not time for this information. And I'm sitting there like, now's not the time. Like,
yeah, if time's running out, now is the time.
Like we're running out of time. Like, so I took it like he was a Magi committee worker, and to find out that he's been in there as a lobbyist for UFO stuff since 1996, and then we sent that to David Grush, and he's the one that responded. That's super weird to me. And so,
well, not only that, he just connected with me on LinkedIn out of nowhere. Why would that happen? Dude?
That's really crazy. That's really crazy.
Oh,
that's
good
weird.
God! All right.
Hit him up, see what's up, but just be careful because I think he's Magi committee at least.
Well, I'm saying he probably saw my video with you and he connected me on LinkedIn, and that's why he linked with me.
It's possible. That's very possible because he's very aware of who I am. They all are. It's just I see also like did you just interview Ashton Forbes?
Yeah, I didn't interview him. I had him on my live stream. He was doing a gaming live stream. I'd like to interview him. Yeah, he's a cool dude, man. I liked him. So basically, I figured out a way. I do my gaming thing, right? So what I did was I had the one channel. It's got about 3,200 subscribers on it right now. But I split it. I took all the UFO stuff and I moved it to its own thing because it was being, YouTube was like fucking like titering my stuff. Like it wasn't promoting my things like it should have. Like your video blew up, which was great, but the Michael Batista video, that should have had between 4,000 and 5,000 views. It's just now breaking 1,100. It's insane. So I separated everything. So I'm going to use the video game channel, which is bigger, to boost the UFO channel and push that way. So I'll invite people on the gaming side and then carry them over to the interview side, and that will push that to the out. You know what I mean? So that's how I'm going to do it. So yeah, I had Ashton Forbes on the gaming side. If I could, I would love to do the same for you if and when you're able to, you know, and you're able to do that, have you on, you game with us. That'd be cool. You know what I mean?
The only problem is like, I can't game with you, and two, I can't be on video.
No, I know. Yeah. I mean, like if and when in the future, if the future turns out the way it should and everything goes well and you're safe, then, you know, when you're free to be, then we'll do this. You know, that's something I think it'll be fun. Or, you know, I want to have others. But anyway, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut into this with
no, all as well. You can still hear me, right?
Yes. But yeah, I had Ashton Forbes on that side, and then I'm going to have other people on. I'm going to have one of the bigger whistleblowers that just testified in January for an interview. He's actually coming to my house, so that should be interesting.
Cool. If you don't mind me asking.
I'm gonna.
Oh, all right. Okay. So, yeah. So, man, I had somebody hit me up. Earlier today, and they told me, they were like, look, you know, I've been listening to Dr. Greer for a long time. He just recently did an interview where he's literally parroting what you're saying. It's like word for word now. It's weird. And I was like, well, I have contacted him and his team like for years now, trying to get their attention because they have the platform and they get a few things wrong, but they got a lot right. Right. And I just, he's harder. He's just as hard to get a hold of for me, at least, as Congress was. And I kind of say even harder because I can call Congress. I can call somebody in Congress now, like a couple of people, and I can't call him. And he's really hard to get a hold of. But I guess I found it really interesting that they were like, listen, he really like, it's parroting what you're saying, like word for word. And I said, well, he has seen the same files, or at least a lot of them anyway. Obviously not all of them, but like a few of them he's seen, and he knows some things, but he gets some things wrong too. And I'd love to sit down with him. I'd love to, because his heart's in the right place. I could tell. And like if I had the authority, like I would love to have, I would actually name him like deputy director of Space Force Intelligence.
Have you tried reaching out to him? I'm actually going to try and reach out to him and see if I can interview him as well. That's what I'm saying.
I tried for years. Wow. I talked to his team before, like Miss Pat, before she had retired from his team. Like I had called her and we had talked. This was back like 2-3 years ago, back when, right after Linda Moulton Howe interviewed me.
Okay.
For like 8 hours. Like I wish that would have came out, but it was around the same time. It was a couple years back, and it was like I was stonewalled. It was before I was known, though. It was before I was known, so I don't know.
Yeah, try and do it now. You know what I mean? I'd definitely try and do it now.
Yeah.
Yo, can you provide any more detail on the specific objectives of Operation Society Hike, or how it was structured with the Air Force, of Special Investigations, the CIA? Like, how is it structured? You know what I mean? Like, and what was their objectives? Like, they're obviously recruiting young minds that they thought were worthy or were gifted and talented, which is why they came after you. But, you know, what was the detail and the objectives? Like, what was the specific structure? Like, what's that like? Do you know, did he reveal what any of that is like, or was that not touched on?
My handling agent didn't even reveal he was my handling agent. And he died before I came forward and found all this out.
Okay, so all right, so you found all that stuff out later. Okay, all right, that's crazy.
I found all that out later, and I found that out the same day I found that he died during a live interview. It was really crazy, and yeah, that was like a mixed bag of emotions. It was during the Maze Love interview. There's like 60,000 people listening to that all together, but it was that was an impactful night. But anyways, all I know is what I've learned. It's an OSI op. Mm-hmm. It's done with CIA coordination. And I did and do have an updated source that had reached out to me. I had, there's a bunch of coops. I had a handful reach out last year and all claimed to be on the inside and all this stuff. And
so is the program still going? And like, has anyone reached out to you from the program? Okay. All right.
No, it's still going, but no one has. But I have, like, that's what I was getting ready to say.
My bad.
I vetted the dude. I vetted everybody that tried to act like they were on the inside. Only one person actually came back as legit. And the way I vet is there's one thing I never revealed and I never will reveal. And the only way you would know is if you had access. And this person's the only thing. He got it right, and he got everything right, like every detail. So
so he knew. So he's legit. So that's all right. That's good.
Yeah, he's legit, and he's connected CIA Group 6. It's through the Office of Scientific Intelligence, out of McLean, Virginia, down their headquarters or whatever. But they're knee deep in this Office of Scientific Intelligence. So, basically, I talked to him a little bit about it, and he explained to me basically the same way Richard Doty did. They were never looking for Harvard grads. They weren't looking for a suit and tie. They were looking for rough, tough kids that they could mold.
They can get dirty work. They can get work done. I understand. Exactly. I know what you're looking for. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
kids that have seen some shit. Right.
Yeah, and the troubled teens that they could break down and then build up brick by brick in the image that they wanted them to be. But I was so hard headed and troubled, I was a little harder. And they don't tell you. They don't tell you you're part of an operation. They don't. And my handling agent, I was in a very unique situation because he never was gonna recruit me. It wasn't until I got locked up as a juvenile, and I got sent to placement at a place called Leadership Development Program, Abraxas, on top of South Mountain, PA. And it was ran by all active and retired military personnel. And my counselor, Mr. Paul, was active Air Force. He was like 31, 32. And he got drunk one night on a field out and told me some shit. I thought it was fake.
Right.
I thought it was bullshit. I was 18 years old. I turned 18 in there. So when I came home, the dude that turned out to be my handling agent, I called my mentor. He picked me up from my driveway. He was like, we took a ride, and that's what I explained to you last time. He's like, did you learn anything? Basically, like, are you going to stay out? But I thought I would just kind of joke and be like, yeah, I learned that your Air Force sent 12 soldiers to live on another planet back in the 1960s, and it was called Project Crystal Night. And that's when he grabbed a hold of me, and I found out, like, this is real. So that's the moment where during the next week and a half, he went and talked to whoever he talked to and decided to recruit me for the operation. Okay. Because I fit the mold of what they were looking for. But once I was exposed to it is when he decided to say, hey, look, I do have another one. And instead of putting them on anti-terrorism, counterterrorism, counter-espionage like we do a lot of these guys, we want this guy for the space program. We're going to train this guy to be an NTO, which is a non-terrestrial officer. Okay. I found out all this later. I didn't even know.
That's perfect, because it goes into my next question. How did Paul justify including information in your briefings that he wasn't supposed to share? And what were some examples of the extra content?
Here's the thing. So a couple different OSI agents, only Richard Doty is the one I can actually name. And then my insider connect as well. All of them were extremely nervous, even Doty. And he says this publicly, extremely nervous that I was briefed into stuff that was not supposed to be included. And Paul's dead now.
Right.
Rest in peace. He's passed. So they can't go back and ask him why. But me knowing him as a man, outside of finding out he was, my handling agent, I know why. I know the man. And I can look back with retrospect as a 41-year-old man and look back now and see what he was doing. He was including illegally things that he was not cleared to include, along with what he was cleared to include, which is still classified. That's why it's a controversial program, because they're showing classified shit to kids that don't have clearances.
Like, I wonder how he was able. Like, so he passed away. Do you know if he passed away of natural causes, or was it like not?
It's listed as natural causes, and I'm not going to be a conspiracist with it. I think it was.
All right, out of respect for him. No, I understand. I was just curious because if the dude's releasing information he's not supposed to, and we know that they've thrown people out of windows and cut Dylan Borland's brake lines and did whatever to Nucatelli and did this and so that they do shit. So It could very well possibly be that they harmed him, you know, and that's unfortunately why he's not here. But again, I don't want to speculate, neither do you, but I'm just saying that's, you know.
I'm going to say I don't think so, because honestly, they didn't know he did it until I came forward.
Okay. I got you. I thought maybe they, okay. All right, good for him.
Yeah, that's what fucked their head. But they're like, wait a minute. You're not supposed to know that. How do you know that? Like, yeah, you were in that operation. You were in that program. We can confirm that. But you were just supposed to be briefed on X, Y, and Z, even though it's classified. You know, we're more or less at a non-committal stage with those things. But that shit, you're not supposed to know that. You're not supposed to have seen that right there.
Right.
And my most illegal briefing, I'm going to say, was my 2012 briefing, which was a week and a half before I was wrongfully incarcerated.
Oh, damn.
My team thinks that's why.
Oh yeah, they probably set you up for sure. They probably knew it was up and set you up. You know,
I'm not so sure.
What is an NTO? What is a non-terrestrial officer?
Non-terrestrial officer is a human that's born here that is taken off terrestrial planet. Right?
Okay, so eventually you would have been somebody that traveled off planet and did.
Yeah, I would have ran either my own starship, my own colony, or FOB, as it's called, a forward operating base somewhere out in space.
So would you have been like the 12 astronauts, and like whatever happened to those people that dipped off with Project Serpo for the ET? Did they come back, or whatever happened to those? Like whatever happened to those soldiers?
I would have been on the level. Of course, once I went through the whole training,
yes, of course,
training, all that stuff. Once you pass all the because they would probably have to put me through, they would have to put me through the OSI field test and all that stuff. So once I passed all that, got my officer training and told what I was, trained to do and groomed to do all those years, then I would have been to the level of the individual that would have said, hey, send those 12. Right? I wouldn't have been those 12. I would have been like, hey, send those 12. I would have had thousands of people on my starship. Maybe, I don't know if they started me with a smaller starship, probably like 400 people. It wouldn't have been the Enterprise or nothing. Yeah, you got to work your way up.
Right, right. Obviously, you got to pay your dues. Right?
It's like any military. You can start off, but I would have had some officer rank to begin with. But that's like after 9.5 years of briefings and then probably another year of training. That's over a decade in already. So without even knowing it, that's crazy. But as far as what happened to those who went, so one died on the way because he kept leaving what we called back then his fishbowl. It's like a protective bowl that kept your biological makeup unaffected by the wormhole or the time tunnels, as they called them back then, while in them. Okay, because you got to stay in this for months. It's not like instantaneous travel like people think.
Okay.
There's a little bit more to that, but and I've explained how this works in great detail on my page, and on my original Whistleblower document 4.5 years ago, I broke it all down. And so he died on the way. 11 made it there, and then out of the 11 that made it there, 2 died of our own planet, one from a fall and one from natural causes like radiation base. And he was also sick. He got sick beforehand. It was like radiation poison, I believe. And then 2 more decided to stay, and they weren't ordered to come back. And our last contact with them before they died was in the late 80s. And then 7 returned. Out of the 7 that returned, the last surviving member was the team leader, the team commander, Code 102. His real name was James McKeever. He died in Arizona in 2001.
Wow. That's crazy. What are the alignment protocols that the Galactic Federation expect from Earth? Like you said, one world government, and how are they measured, and how do they plan on enforcing them? Like keeping us in line with it? Like what are they going to do to basically keep us in check?
So, the phrase, give them an offer they can't refuse.
Right.
They're going to make available to us everything that's already in secret. Everything that our government, not really our government, but our secret space program already has, and that has perfected and spent decades perfecting, or doing stuff that would make Hitler blush, going to abductees at the 29 subterranean Air Force bases, in order to get the answers that they have now with these genomes and everything. what they've very fucked uply been able to, obtain with our biology and other technologies as well, the GFL is going to take responsibility of us now having access to that as civilians. Mm-hmm. You have to understand what that means. What that means is not only are they going to be labeled our saviors, and helping to defeat these so-called bad aliens, aka fake aliens, program life forms that we ourselves are seeking on ourselves. This false flag app, this false indication warning app. So we're already going to be looking at them as the good guys, and they are. But they're going to purposely be labeled that for us, and then they're going to be the ones so-called responsible for now saying, "Hey, by the way, cancer don't exist no more. Here you go." Boom.
Yeah, that's what I assume it'd be like medical advancement, just crazy, like, we have nothing to worry about monetarily. I'm assuming it just, the world is suddenly rich. You know what I mean? That's what I assume that they're going to give us. And medical cure alone is huge. Imagine being able to cure cancer, being able to cure AIDS, being able to cure, what's the thing that Michael J. Fox has, Parkinson's, and imagine being able to cure all that stuff. That's huge. So I can understand. You warned about a potential Trantaloid invasion if humanity fails to align. Obviously, what's the time frame and the deadline given by the GFL, and what signs should we watch for other than what we're seeing that's been happening? Like, obviously, you've been mentioning that there's been, like, your warnings have been coming to truth. So, what else are we looking for?
So the first answer is September 24th of 2027. That's the deadline, the 3-year deal. So at the expiration of the 70-year contract with ETE-1 and a few others, it started only with ETE-1 in 1954, ran out September 24th of 2024. At the expiration of that, we then rolled over into the next contract with the GFL, which was 3 years. That was a deadline. So we have 3 years from that date to come under a one world government, mm-hmm. and be willing to give up not our nukes, but to give up the authority of when to use our nukes, right, to the GFL. And in return, we get a seat at the table to make those decisions, aka MJ-12 gets a seat at the table.
So that all ties into the Roswell thing, right? That was like the exchange program from Roswell, or no?
Well, the exchange program was the same species as Roswell.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right? That's ETE-2. Though they're the most benevolent species in the known galaxy, they have no affiliation with the GFL. But they're, they don't really need the GFL.
Now, which ones are those? That's not the Greys, right? Which one is the designations confuse the shit out of me still. I'm still trying to get those. Yeah, it's so confusing.
So the first three, here's how they were put together for those that don't remember or whatever. So it used to be, okay, so here, before Roswell, the only thing we had ever recovered were cadavers of half mechanical, half biological, basically biomechanical androids, almost, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And we didn't have a designation for those. We didn't really know, like, are there fully biologics out there? Like, what's going on? And until Roswell. So the very first non-fully biological, which was biomechanical, that we recovered, was off the coast of San Diego in 1942 following the Battle of LA, where we actually did down a craft. One of the craft.
Now, is that you said that was 1942? That's the first craft we've actually downed purposefully? Is that what that is?
Yes, not no.
Right.
But United States, yes. The Magenta crash in 33, I believe, in Italy, that was downed using EMP weaponry.
And who did that? The Germans?
They don't exist, but yeah. That's where Hitler actually got it from. He got it from them, and then we got it from the Nazis as well. That's how we downed the Roswell crash in 47. We used the same thing. And there was two craft. And I released that 4.5 years ago, way before Elizondo's book came out.
Like, fuck that book. Imminent these nuts.
Straight Magi committee guy.
Gotcha.
So it was two craft, except what he didn't put in there was the second craft that took back off. It crashed again, and it crashed right outside of what's known as 18.
Yeah, that's the one that skipped, right? They said one of them skipped like across the fucking like it hit.
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
that's actually, so that one actually crashed June 18th, right before Roswell. It was ETE2, but what I'm getting at is the way that they did all this was once Roswell happened and they recovered the first biologics, they came up with a designation. Because they're like, okay, now shit's real. Mm-hmm. And we call it extraterrestrial biological entity. Okay, so EBE. All right. Mm-hmm. So, but after that, we started to encounter different ones from different crashes, different downings, and then Roswell had a survivor. There was 5 dead and 1 alive in that first craft southwest of Corona. Second craft they went down outside of Data. We didn't even discover that for 2 years until 2 ranchers found it in isolated desert resting on what we were known as its roof in 1949. Mm-hmm. And people think that that's a crash that happened in 49, but it's not. So it's actually part of the Roswell crash. It was the second craft. So that the way that they classify that is what we transitioned into. And the reason why is because the more we came in contact with this species and then cadavers and all that, and after doing autopsies and what's biological, what's not, what's different, what's the same, we started to number the EBEs. So EBE number 1, EBE number 2, and then that the word number became part of the acronym EBEN1, EBEN2, and then once we realized they were coming from different star systems, then we're like, okay, this is just too much. We need to start classifying them from star system and then just give them a type inside the star system. So EBE became a dead designation. But since it was about the Roswell species specifically, that became a way that we gave them, later on, looking back, we gave them the nickname Ebens. For right. EBEN, right? Right. For that specific species. But then, like I said, in 54, the Magi Committee was formed in 53, 54. It really pulled in 54, but it was formed in 53. And that's where Magic Eyes Only came from, Military and Joint Intelligence Committee, Magi Committee. That's where Magic is actually from. So once we formed them, we also formed this new designation, which was star system in order of first contact. We came in contact with them. So ETE1, type A, type B, type C, type D. They're from the Rigel star system. They're grays, except type D is brown skin. It's got what looks to be 3 vertebrae coming up the back. It's really 2 vertebrae with 1 cartilage coming up the back. And they have 5 fingers, 5 toes. Type A, type B, type C, they're gray, a little chalky. Depending on which type. Some of them have raised little bumps on the tops of their skulls. Some don't. Some have vertical eyes. Some have.
So they look like the Virginia ones with the bumps on their skulls, right? The 3. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's ETE1 if I'm not mistaken. And they're biomechanical. They've started off fully biological, but thousands of years ago they ventured off into space and came in contact with what they now call the Keeper. We theorized, as far as the files from the 80s that I saw, for this specific species, I've seen files from all different decades. This was the most up-to-date for me, was late 80s, and we theorized that it was some sort of intelligent super AI. And that's how it was explained to me verbally as well during the briefing. So they take all their orders from this thing called the Keeper. They can't even make a decision, bro. And that's why it takes so long to get decisions made from the species. But they started to incorporate mechanics into their biological makeup thousands of years ago. So now they're fully they're biomechanical now, but they do have consciousness. They do have a soul. And I say that specifically for a reason. So right there's 4 types of grays. Even though one of them is brown, they're still considered gray. So boom, there's 4 types of grays right there. Then ETE2 is the second species we came in contact with, but the first fully biologicals. And type A B, C, and D. They're all gray, and they're from the Zeta Reticuli 2 and 1 binary star system.
So those look like grays also? Those ones look like grays also? Okay.
Right. Yes, and those are the ones that crashed at Roswell. Type C specifically are the ones that crashed at Roswell. They're mainly the scientists, the observers.
I'm talking about type suction cups on their fingers. They said, right?
No, that's Type A.
Okay.
Or, I'm sorry, that's ETE1. Type A, B, and C. They got 4 fingers with suction cups on the ends for the most part.
Gotcha.
This species mainly has 6 fingers, 6 toes.
Oh, shit.
Right?
Okay, that's different.
Yeah, now a couple of them have 5, and they're a little taller than ETE1. They can go anywhere from 3.5 and 4 feet tall all the way up to 6, 6.5 for certain diplomats and shit.
See the species fascinate the shit out of me. I could spend all day on the species, like not even kidding you. Yeah,
and I could go on. Trust me, I could go on because then you got ETE3. That's another gray species, type A, B, and C. But they're fully mechanical. They're biomechanical, but they have no consciousness. They were cloned. They were made by ETE4, which we call.
So those are the hive mind ones, right? Those ones with the clone ones. They're like basically like a hive mind, right?
Sort of, but not really. A lot of that stuff is misinformation because they're the ones that do the hybridization programs, but not to infiltrate us. It's so that they can incorporate consciousness into their biological makeups and transfer their consciousness into these CBEs that they build, these cloned biological entities, and use what we would call soul catcher technology when people die. It's really consciousness.
All right, so that's what I was going to ask you. So they see us. That's the thing where Bob Lazar said where they view us as containers. And he goes, well, I don't know what that means specifically, but they view us as containers. So those things specifically don't have souls, so they view us as. So is that what they're doing? They're trying to take our souls essentially, or no?
It's not that they're trying to. It's that they're approved to take a certain amount every year.
See, that's what scares the fuck out of me. Is that
and before all this, no one was trying to get our approval for shit because they didn't need it.
Yeah, man, fucking, I don't need shit from you. I'll do what I want. Right, exactly.
Right, but now things are different.
Right, because we got a little bit of dick to wag.
People don't understand like how advanced we are now and how much of a force we are now. Don't nobody play with us. That people don't understand. Like nobody plays with us out there.
That we're vindictive.
Like,
so
it's not even that. It's that we have everything they have. We spent 70 years saying, here, take our humans and give us your best shit. And we cherry picked all the best technologies from dozens of star systems for 70 years and then worked side by side with a good 6 to 7 of the most advanced civilizations to perfect it for us specifically to be tailored for us. And now we have everything they have. Everything. And we have they'll have this species here will have everything they have, but they won't have certain things that this other species over here has, but we got both. And we've done that with dozens.
So
we're advanced in shit.
You said there's one benevolent species that's like in charge of everything, right? That's in charge of the GFL. Which species is that? What do they look like?
Not specific. I didn't say it like that because the GFL has it used to be called the Council of 9. It's now called the Council of 6.
Okay.
I don't know why they cut 3 species out, 3 civilizations. I don't know. But that's like their board of trustees. And that's actually going to turn into the Council of 7 when we get a place at the table. Cool. MJ12 gets a spot at the table. And what they do is basically, as far as the last briefing that I got, a specific Pleiadian connection kind of sits as like the chairman of the board almost, but I just don't remember which one it is. It's not the tall whites, and I think, but I just can't really remember. So I hate guessing like this. So I don't really talk about this that often.
That's fine.
But I think it's the bronze, the copper color bronze skin, the tall ones as well. They're like 12 feet tall too, like 10 to 13 feet tall. They have that base with the tall whites down in Antarctica that's catty corner from the reptilian base.
Are they grays or what are those? What are they like?
No, they look like a penny, like they're shiny copper looking stuff. Yeah, but they're brown skin, but they're shiny copper.
But their appearance, really, like their faces, they look human but gold.
Yeah, they're humanoid. But it's like a copperish color.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like
all right. I wasn't sure.
It's like a tarnished penny though. It's like a dull penny. It's not like a brand new penny.
I got it.
I think, matter of fact, the Russians way back in the day, the Soviets and the Nazis, no matter of fact, only the Soviets. The Soviets came in contact with them. And yeah, way back in Stalin's days.
Okay. Can you describe the biological structure and war tactics of the Trantaloids in more detail, including how they might infiltrate our society?
They can't.
They can't. Okay.
The only thing they can do is invade now. They have ability to blend in, but we have the ability to identify. So they don't really get away with that anymore.
Okay, so they can't sneak in. All right, that's good. That's good. Because in your first interview, you described that they look like the goddamn Starship Trooper creatures, and it's scared shit out of me. Can you expand on their hierarchy, like their reproductive methods or specific weaknesses that the GFL has shared, or we don't know what they are?
It's not that they haven't shared; it's that I wasn't briefed on it.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
I wasn't briefed on their reproductive methods. Some of the species I was, and I can break that down. But them specifically, I wasn't. As far as their tactics, their warfare tactics, they're going to overwhelm you. They have trillions.
Yeah, it's like fucking sending ants. No, I get it. Yeah,
that's the planet, and it's a dead issue. Yeah, it won't even matter. And they're technologically advanced like shit. They definitely are. But what's scary about them is they can blend in, and you have to understand this is not the only planet we are on. It's just the only planet that civilization is allowed to know we're on.
Right.
This isn't the only place they could interfere. They could infiltrate some other areas that may be a little bit more penetrable to where we're looking at different things, to where we don't have as much of a GFL presence as we do here. This star system is very important. This is a very frequented highway, so to speak. It's called the ninth parallel in certain circles. And this is like okay, those wormholes I told you about, they have exit points basically. And this is an exit point. And this is a very famous planet in the cosmos because of how it was formed. It's extremely rare. And people don't realize that. And like, we're basically like a story people tell, like, hey, you remember, that planet? Yeah, I've been there. Like, oh, you've been there? Yeah, I've been there. Earth. Yeah, it's crazy. So like, we're kind of famous throughout. And the DNA that we have inside of us is very important. It's very old. It's one of the oldest in the known galaxy because of who created us out of their DNA. They've been around billions of years, billions and billions of years. They've been around. They're called the old ones for a reason. They've been around for a very long time. And so, I don't know, like, they just were known. And now that our creators left about 3,000 years ago, a little over 3,000 years ago, it became a free-for-all with these other species. Right. And then some of them started battling with each other. Some of them formed alliances, but bases were formed here. Even before then, bases were formed here, but they weren't interacting with us like that. Only in certain areas with the indigenous cultures and stuff, they would keep the distance because the Nibiruans are violent, bro. That's where we get it from. Yeah. And they don't fuck around. And their planet makes Jupiter look like a moon, dude.
Oh, damn. That's that big. That's a big.
They've got trillions. Yeah, they got trillions.
So the Anunnakis are tall, right? Like, how big are they? Or Nibiruans, how tall are they?
The Nibiruans, for all those that don't know, the Anunnaki are the Nibiruans. I just call them by their real name.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I mean, they're just like us. They vary, right? But they're a little taller than us.
Okay.
So if our average height is 5.5 feet, their average height would be 6 3/4.
All right.
But they have short people.
So a little
like
taller
we do.
than me.
They're short people, but their short people would be like 5.5, where our short people would be like 4.
Gotcha.
Our max height is going to be, 7.5 feet almost, maybe a little more. Where their max height is going to be 9.5. It just depends. It varies, but they're known to be extremely beautiful, and they don't age until they're like millions and millions of years old.
Sounds like my kind of ladies. It's like my wife. She looks like she's 20. She's freaking 47. Since our first interview, right? Have you received any new contact or updated intel from any former handlers or sources since we last spoke? that has shifted the March to July 2026 timeframe? Like, has anything changed since you and I last spoke, or in this year, has anything changed to kind of accelerate or slow it down? Like, is there anything that's like come new?
Well, I've only had one handling agent, by the way, one handler, and that was Paul Decker. But I have, like I said, I have my contact, my one contact that is in it at the moment. Like, he is not retired. He is not, he's in it.
Gotcha.
He is literally in it. And I've asked him a few things that, even for favors for a few people, and a favor for myself one time back last spring. And, you know, outside of those few things, I don't really ask him shit. Gotcha. He kind of just reaches out to me and gives me certain stuff. And yes, he is the person that gave me the update from July of next year to the second, third week of March. But he is still steadfast in making sure that I know that it's always just going to be between March and July. It's just the most up-to-date information points to the second and third week of March. So always remember, it's between March and July. It's not guaranteed on a certain day. It's between those times. But the most up-to-date information that he has seen, it's been expedited to the second, third week of March. So we got to be mindful of that.
So what do you think the chances are that the GFL will extend the time frame? Because, you know, they don't want to leave us stranded.
None.
Absolutely none. Okay, so that's it. We're fucked. All right.
Well, we're not going to be fucked because they're going to get away with this. They're going to get away with this. The hundreds of millions of people that die are going to be fucked. But the people that survive that, the chosen people that will actually get picked up by different species and taken off this planet in the beginning and at the end, or towards the end, they'll survive. That's, I don't know. I don't think I'm one of them. I know someone who is, I believe. I won't get into that, but
like what
I can tell you,
what would failing the experiment look like for us? Like, what would their mechanism be for withdrawal? That's it. They're gone. They just dip and leave us to the Trantaloid invasion.
No, it's not an experiment at all. It was just an agreement.
No, but you know, I'm sorry, I used the wrong word. But like, what does it look like if the agreement fails? They're just, that's it. We're out.
They leave.
Oh, wow.
And if they leave, we're fucked. If they leave, it won't take long for Trantaloid Scout to find out through somebody else that we've been abandoned by the only deterrent that keeps them from coming. And they will come. Damn. And there's nothing we'll be able to do. It doesn't matter how many reptilians are in Antarctica. It doesn't matter how many Pleiadians are here. It doesn't matter how all the shit that we have, all the badass shit that we do with ETE2. We'll give up a fight. But believe me, within weeks, we will fold. We will lose.
Well, yeah, we're going to be overwhelmed and swarmed, right? Because it's sheer numbers.
Absolutely. And they are the only species, as of 2012 anyway, because we were experimenting with it with other species to try to catch up. As of 2012, though, they were the only species with instantaneous deep space travel. So they could be here in a blink of an eye, no matter where they're coming from.
Oh, wow.
And they could show up with literally millions of craft, literally.
Do you know what their command structure is like for the Trantaloids? Like, is it a hive mind? Is it a single leader? Like, what's it like?
I don't know. Okay. I know there's two different types of Trantaloids that have now joined forces.
Oh, that's scary.
Which is
what are the differences? What's the difference?
One's the original Trantaloid species that's been around for millions of years. The other one is a species that was created out of their DNA to try to make a good species that didn't work out.
And they turned back. Right? Yeah, they turned back.
Yeah, that was a couple dozen thousand years ago. Wonderful. Yeah, that was one of the mistakes the Ebens made. They created four main species. They created more than four, but four main species that we know about. And they're actually the main species that new recruits into these programs get briefed on, along with the Ebens. If you ever hear any congressperson or anybody come forward telling you that they know of 5 species That's what they're talking about. They're talking about the evens and the 4 that they had created. They don't really know what's going on. And that's the CBE scale, the CBE designation. CBE1, arculoids, CBE2, I believe that's quadloids, and CBE3, heploids, and CBE4, Trantaloids.
Damn.
But Trantaloids, like I said, they're the CBE version. But they left and they joined forces with the original Trantaloids from the Epsilon Eridani star system, and that's their home base. But they've conquered and enslaved and consumed over 22 different star systems. So they run all 22 star systems, and they have a presence there.
That's scary, man. Were you shown any footage or photos of live specimens of Trantaloids, or and if so, what was like most disturbing that you saw? Like, it's just grotesque. Well, I'm sure it's gonna be scary.
I saw basically what you would call a black and white selfie of a Trantaloid that we had. Actually, the Canadians captured him. It's listed as happening in 61, but it actually happened in 71. And then he was transferred to S2 facility at the Nevada test site for a while. So it's a holding facility / prison for extraterrestrials.
Round about how big are they?
It varies, but that one, I believe, there was little handwritten notes on the side of the thing, and if I remember correctly, that one was around 6 feet tall.
God damn. A 6 feet tall bug? Yeah, fuck that. No. Jesus Christ.
It looked, dude, it looked like a mixture between like a beetle and a roach, and a little bit of a bee, but basically a beetle and a roach, a little ugly fucking thing with pinchers and shit. It's weird looking. Yeah. But I didn't get to see the body. I read the descriptions on what the body looks like, but they got 4 arms, 2 legs, and the arm, they have bubble joints. Like if you look at their joints where it's supposed to be like an elbow would be like a bubble, a shoulder would be like a bubble, and like they can retract their arms in, and they can retract their vertebrae to make them shorter. And then they have the technology, or what the medieval called glamour, to be able to look different as well. And that's where I said that they
can look like us. Yeah.
Where they have this disguise where they have 2 arms, 2 legs, and blonde hair, blue eyed, look like Nordics. And
but we got tech that can see through that shit though, right?
Now, we have blood tests that is hidden within all physicals given to all military and government workers, including Congress and everybody else, because we found a hybrid, not of them, but of something else back in the 80s that was in military intelligence.
Now,
and ever since then, we took care of that.
What's the importance of Dulce base? You said that there's like 18,000 extraterrestrials living in Dulce, and like how many different species represented there? Which ones are considered friendly versus neutral versus hostile? Like, what's the day-to-day operations like? Do you know by chance what that's like? And when were you told about that? I was shown some things and also informed on some things. I know some, I don't know all. I know that's only one of 29 bases identical to that base. And they all house ET. It's like fucking Men in Black then. That is crazy. So it's like,
absolutely.
Wow,
absolutely.
That's crazy.
I don't know. Not all of them are that large. They're all connected. They have these tubes underneath, about 1.5 miles down, anywhere under the.
I've heard about that. You can go from anywhere in the world in like an hour, literally anywhere in the world.
It's not even that long, honestly. But you can travel all over the southwestern United States, all these bases, all the way over to east. You can do that shit within minutes. And all it is repulsion technology, the same thing that these craft use to stay in the sky. You use that on like a...
Yeah, they travel through a tube on a train. Yeah, I actually just watched a couple of videos on that today. Yeah, I do my homework, dude.
Yeah, these tubes are huge, though. They're not like little tubes. Like, they're not subway tubes. Like, these tubes are big enough to shoot a UFO through. Like, they're huge.
If you notice from my questions, I did my homework. I told you I was going to dig into your briefings.
I can tell. Yeah, I definitely tell.
I have a lot of questions, my friend.
And I got a lot of answers. And if I don't know, like I said,
I like that. I like it. I like that you don't try to bullshit me if you don't know the answer. You tell me outright. I like that.
Yeah, I think it's just important just to be honest.
Yeah,
and
tell the truth.
What you know.
That's what I like. Tell the fucking truth.
Just let the chips fall where they land, bro.
Or tell me what you know to be the truth. You know what I mean? Like, Just don't bullshit.
No, I
I'm
know.
good with that.
Believe me, I know. And that's the thing. Like, you always have the devil advocate players where they're like, well, what if you were part of a psyop? Dude, everything I was briefed on that was coming, I'm literally watching play out on the news. I'm watching it.
Yeah, you're like Leonardo DiCaprio watching that movie, pointing, gun, whistling. There it is. You know what I mean?
Like that movie Look Up.
Yeah.
It's like that movie Look Up that he did. It's like you telling everybody, like, what are you doing? Like, it's coming. Like, why are you laughing? Like, it's not a game. Like,
no, they'll
like,
find out when a Trantaloid's dry fucking them, deep dicking them from behind. They'll know you weren't bullshitting.
I'm trying to tell you, man. Like, I'm telling you, like, all I can do is tell people what's going on, man. And it sucks because I'm not the cookie cutter whistleblower. Obviously, you listen how I talk. Mm-hmm. I'm not a suit and tie wearing individual. And then you look at, my current situation, wrongfully incarcerated. I'm in prison on three-way with my family, being able to do this interview. So right. I'm not somebody where half your listeners just stop listening. So it's like, people think that actually matters when it comes to the validity of the information, but it doesn't.
It's not going to matter if this invasion happens. It's not none of that. Nothing's going to matter. Only going to matter is survival. Period. Yeah. Or the attempted survival.
I'm easily discredited because of that too, and that's another thing that Dodie and a few others were talking about. They were like, "Look, because I have so many people. They're like, well, if what you're really saying is classified, and you're saying it, you wouldn't be alive. Why wouldn't I?
No, they're just going to keep you in jail. That's it. Just keep you in jail.
Why wouldn't I? All they got to do is play the inmate card. Right. That's all they got to do.
And all you got to do is have somebody attack you when you're about to get out, and then now you're stuck there longer.
Yeah. Yeah, trust me, that's easy to do. The only thing is, like, being in here as long as I've been in here, at least I know that, I got people that would avenge me. Yeah. So I wouldn't even have to say that. But at the end of the day, I don't want to have to deal with all that. I really don't. I just want to be vindicated and have everything vacated and come home
and survive and spend time with your wife and start a life. I hear you, brother. I hear you. I'm right there with you. Yo,
I want to have more in this world.
I could imagine, my friend. Yo, do you know what the day-to-day joint operations are like at those bases and or at the lunar bases? You said there's how many bases on here and how many are on the moon?
You gotta do like one thing at a time.
My bad.
So first, don't forget the lunar bases. All right, so first,
yeah, I got them. That's what I'm saying. How many are there?
Bases. Okay, so the NRO have what's known as the Delta Division or Team Delta or Project Delta, whatever people want to call it nowadays, but it's the Delta Division. It's non-existent. You can't find record of it. But what they do is they run the abductions that all paramilitary groups that Greer talks about. They actually do exist, and they abduct people, and they take them to these type of bases. And there's a section, they'll say specifically is like level 6 and 7, I believe. They had back in the 80s, the people that worked there gave it a nickname. They called it Nightmare Hall. And the doctors that worked there were actually lied to. They were told that these people were from nut houses, that they were from mental institutions. And I say nut houses only because that's the phrases that they used back in the day. But the mental institutions, and that they would take them and that they were there to try to help them and try to cure them, and that they had permission to have them there. So don't believe them with what they yell out of the bars and the cages and stuff, right? So they would walk down this nightmare hall, and they would, see body parts in these vats, and they'd have all the legs in this vat, all the arms over here, the heads over here, and some of the torsos had wings on them with reptilian skin and stuff, that they was just doing all these experiments trying to figure out what to do with these genomes so they can figure out, just all types of wild shit, weird shit. And they worked with the ETEs. Specifically, usually it would be ETE-1 when it came to a lot of these experiments, but ETE-2 would chime in because they're really good at genomes and stuff, but they're more benevolent than that. So it was like their knowledge was more important than their hands. We really used like the tall whites and the ETE-1 for the handwork, and us specifically. Like I told you, we did shit that made Hitler blush type of stuff. When it came to like the experiments, like he experimented to try to find out like how to cure chlamydia. Like, how do I, let me just infect everybody and fuck everybody over type.
Right.
We were like, wonder if we put wings on that person and give them reptilian DNA and see what happens.
Well, yeah, look at the crazy shit that they were doing on fucking Long Island. That's how Lyme disease, and that's where the entire Stranger Things thing comes from. It comes from all the crazy experiments off of Long Island. I'm sorry. I mean, cut you off. That's where all that shit comes from.
You have a point, because Project Looking Glass, along with GMS technology, all were finalized at Montauk.
Yeah, that's why we all got fucking Lyme disease now. That's why Lyme disease exists, for that reason. They found that weird dog thing off the coast of fucking off Montauk. Yeah, it's crazy. And that's literally where the entire Stranger Things story comes from. Comes from the Montauk story.
Yeah, Montauk was real, and it still is operational to this day.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure they're doing all kinds of crazy shit out there.
Yeah, it's subterranean. All this shit is subterranean. The stuff you see on the surface is just for show. Like Area 51, that shit is for show, bro. All the good stuff happens underneath.
Oh yeah, yeah. Freaking Jon Stewart told me that S4 and all that shit. Yeah.
Jon Stewart, he actually. And I mean this in the most loving way. I love John. He comes to me.
Me
to
too.
Get information
that's Uncle John. I call him Uncle John. He's funny, dude. He's funny as shit.
Man, bro.
He texts me all the time.
Don't get it twisted. I'm not his only contact. He's definitely informed. He's definitely connected to DARPA, and he's definitely he knows what's going on for sure.
Yo, you could probably get to Greer through him, man. He's got connections to Greer. He just interviewed him.
Really, I didn't know that. I'll have to holler. I got his number. I could just call him. All right. I'll do that probably tomorrow, actually. As far as daily operations goes, is where we were at. So the daily operations, as far as that goes, is basically that's the extent of what I know when it comes to those 29 subterranean bases. Was basically, to experiment on the abductees, get what they need. But nowadays, it's like a little. They still bring abductees there, like we do, as well as the ETE contracts before they ran out. And here's what a lot of people don't know: the craft that fly in and out of these black sites, they have symbols on them. One symbol is to identify what species it is that's coming, right? Including our own, right? And then the other symbol is what their responsibility is. Are they just transporting? Are they abducting, catching, and releasing? Are they experimenters? Are they scientists? Are they just visitors? Are they diplomats? And all these little symbols, are they just a transport?
It's like they're call and designation. I got you. All right.
Absolutely. And that's what people don't understand. Some of these symbols that they see on these craft are literally just military identification.
ID, but
who's coming and going and why. Yep.
That makes sense.
Absolutely.
I got a question for you. So they basically experiment with humans, right? Are humans the only species that they kidnap and experiment with? Because if there are hundreds of other different species, if there's humans, other humanoids, there's the tall grays, there's the Nordics, there's the this, there's the that. Are they experimenting with them as well, or are they just fucking with humans? And if so, why?
Well, you have to understand, we are a very rare planet, a very unique planet. I've never ran across another civilization that gets lied to. Everyone else already knows what's going on.
Right.
So you don't have that type of mandate, that type of, that's not real, so you have abductions.
So they're able to operate in secret. So if they start the one world government, does all the experiments stop on us? Like if we finally get let into the secret, we finally let into the club, are they going to stop fucking with us and dry humping us and cutting us up and putting us in vats and all that crazy shit? Or is that still going to continue? Because I'm not down for that shit.
The 70-year contract already stopped September 2024.
And this is the extra 3 years, right? But
extraterrestrial abductions already ceased, except for any type of rogue activity that's unauthorized, and that gets quelled immediately if they do that.
Okay, so they technically stopped abducting us for the most part, unless they just want to be dicks.
Is the problem.
Gotcha. Okay. That's fucking scary. So if and when we do finally join the GFL, besides them fucking off, and if we don't join the GFL, but if we do join them, then they'll stop experimenting on us.
Well, here's the thing. I have a theory. This I don't know. This is my own hypothesis. I want to let everybody know that. But from everything I know about the GFL and everything I know about MJ, which is now known as the Zodiac Group, by the way, for people that don't know.
Interesting.
Everything I know about all this, I am of the opinion that once this is over and that we move into GFL authority to where we now follow GFL law, adapted for our own mindsets, that MJ-12 is going to be overthrown because they're not going to want somebody that just did all that
Right.
to all their civilians being decision makers for other civilizations. I believe that they're going to pull a coup. GFL, I believe, is going to, not militarily, but just basically looking at them and say, look, we're going to give you guys a seat at the table, but not you.
That is literally the communism playbook 101. They use liberals and all that shit to get to the means that they want. And then next thing you know, those are the motherfucking first ones at the gulag getting lined up for the shooting gallery. That is amazing.
Only difference is
now it's interspecies.
MJ-12 would deserve it.
Yeah, 100%. Fuck you, MJ-12, if you're listening. So regarding the staged events MJ-12 is planning to force a one more government, what specific false flag scenarios were we warned about?
They're called precursors. And basically what they are for, people ask me all the time, why do that? Why can't they just call each other and say, hey, it's still on? Precursors are literally like a kidnapped victim's proof of life with a newspaper.
Right. I got you.
They're proof of life that it's still on, that it's still happening.
Or like a finger. Here's the kid's ear.
Exactly.
I got you.
And so half of them already came to pass. And the other half haven't yet, but they're working up to it. I told everybody years ago that they were going to be talking about the James Webb and that they were going to use specific phrases that I even quoted: biological signatures, technological signatures, and that they were specifically going to say the TRAPPIST-1 star system. Then they would probably mention Alpha Mensae with it, but TRAPPIST-1 star system. And they're going to say that biological and technological signatures has been found in this star system, which indicate intelligent life. It's proof, right? Mm-hmm. So this is back in the 80s. This is before, they just said high-powered telescope, but they mentioned TRAPPIST-1 and, Alpha Mensae by name. This is back during the first Reagan administration this file comes from. And I didn't know I was briefed on this in 2012, and I didn't know anything about James Webb or none of that shit. And then fast forward, James Webb gets built, and, all of a sudden I start seeing these little releases. TRAPPIST-1 this, TRAPPIST-1 that. Then they'll say biological signatures, but it'll be in a different star system. And you're like, damn, there's the phrase. Then they'll say technological signatures could be just echoes of this, that, and the third. And I'll be like, there's the phrase. And then here we go, TRAPPIST-1 again. And then just the other day, they said the Chinese are looking at TRAPPIST-1 in a different way now because they believe it's the best chance for, alien life and shit. And I'm sitting here like, man, they just keep building up to it so that's one of the precursors is the James Webb team is going to announce with the United States government that biological and technological signatures have been found in the TRAPPIST-1 star system, and they may or may not mention Alpha Mensae star system with it. That is proof of alien life. You asked me earlier, did I get any more updates? I got one. Okay. I was informed that a couple of months ago, about a month and a half ago, I was informed that Trump and Marco Rubio, specifically side by side, or at least in the same room, are going to announce to the world before the end of January, they're going to confirm alien life. Okay. And
I could see that happen 100%. I could see Trump doing it, especially who his uncle was.
Bro, as soon as I got told, I started seeing little leaks of that shit all over X and all over the internet, and like people betting on it. And
it's like 100%. It's like 100%. Vegas is like it's 100 to 1. It's 100% happening.
And I'm sitting here like, for anybody that wants to try to say that my source is not actively involved in this shit is full of shit. Because as soon as he tells me that, all this starts popping up, and I'm like, yep, here we come. It's gonna happen. But he gave me a deadline. He told me before the end of January. He said anytime before today and the end of January. Because they never have exact dates for that stuff. They have to, because certain things have to be going on inside the plan itself around the world to be like, all right, it's time. Get them up there.
So if hypothetically somebody in the audience has direct evidence or documents, like just to say for whatever reason that Paul happened to have another kid just like you, that, you know, like let's just say technically, for lack of a better word, another Sith apprentice, you know what I mean? Like that he was training in secret, just like you, and he's got information or she has information. How could they get it to you securely? Is there a way that you have that they can contact you? Should they reach out to you through X? Like what's the best way? Like, let's just say, because you never know, man, somebody might have some information. How could they get it to you?
The best way to reach me is through X.
All right.
The best way. I'm able to go through my family, my wife, and I'm able to have my DMs checked like that, but I don't get on there that often. I'm a lot quieter on X than I used to be. I've got probably 750 notifications and like 150 unread messages. So there's a lot I don't get to see. Mm-hmm. But
yeah, you got a big following. It's got to be a pain in the ass to get through all that.
I mean, I've never looked at it as a pain in the ass. I've looked at it as a blessing. But
true.
It's too much. It's too much. If I don't, like, bro, if I ain't got an iPhone in my hand, even if I did, that'd be hard to keep up with. Can you imagine trying to do that through a prison phone? Just talking to your people and having them read shit to you and use the voice thing to go back and forth and try to like do posts at the same time.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know what a prison phone, like, it still baffles me that you're able to talk to me right now. Like, I don't even know how that's, like, are we breaking laws right now? Am I a rebel?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
All right.
Nope, not at all. Because as long as I got money on my phone that I can get on my tablet, I can call, and as long as I got money, it'll keep running.
Oh, that's cool.
And I call my people, they three-way you, and that's what we do.
Oh, that's cool.
Sometimes I sound the way I sound, though. Sometimes it's like it's hard. Like it's harder to hear me on Spaces because I have to do speaker to speaker. This I'm actually on the phone.
Yeah, that's cool. We got to figure out a way to get you on a couple of the different apps, because a couple of different apps could really help you. Like if you were on Discord, you could really get your story out there. Discord's great.
Well, I can always do speaker to speaker on stuff. Yeah. And I can put both devices on speaker, and then they can put one of the devices on text talk, and then I speak through it. That's how I do my posts, but that's why some of that shit has typos. A lot of it has typos because it doesn't hear you correctly and stuff, but I can't see it in order to correct it. So
that's all good. Yeah, you make do what you got, brother. Listen, what you've been doing is working, so keep it up. Yo, I got a question for you. You mentioned Bigfoot. Is Bigfoot somehow into this? Is Bigfoot one of these entities? Like, what is a wall dig? You called Bigfoot a wall dig, and how do they traverse dimensionally naturally?
Hey, Lawrence of Arabia, when am I going to see some goddamn UFOs? Them phonics guys have been humming Kumbaya fucking Yar for 40 fucking minutes now.
Traverse dimensionally naturally. How do they do that? Do you know?
Yeah, I do. So that was only leaked one time ever that I know of. In the late 80s. Yeah, it's WADIG, but real Bigfoot, not, all the bullshit stories.
Right.
Like real Bigfoot is a wall dig. It's an interdimensional being that we don't, at least back in then, the file that I saw was also from the 80s and early 90s was the last one, I think, up to date. Obviously, we have up to date. I wasn't briefed on it, but that specific last thing that I got to see most up to date was we weren't sure if that species was naturally from this plane and this dimension and this earth and just was a splinter that ended up evolving on its own without Nibiruan interference, or if it was from the other dimension and this came here. So what they do is naturally. Now this is rare. This is very rare because we use technology to do it. We can do it, but we use technology, and a lot of other species do as well. You have to encase yourself, and when using the technology, you encase yourself in pretty much the same type of bubble that the craft used, the gravity bubble, the anti-gravity repulsion stuff, but it's different technology. It's not anti-gravity, it's not repulsion, but it's the same type of bubble format, and you got to encase you or whatever you're trying to take through, and you accelerate and decelerate your atomic makeup to be able to traverse dimensionally. You accelerate it or decelerate it, whichever is required for which dimension you're moving from, and then once you get to the other side, then you got to either accelerate it or decelerate it to the exact frequency of what exists in that dimension. And now a wall dig and a few others that are known as ETE-5. It's the only ETE designation that's not a star system. It's just the order of contact we learned from different crashes about them. So ETE-5, they're called paraterrestrials. That's interdimensional beings, right?
Gotcha.
And they can naturally decelerate and accelerate their atomic makeups to walk through. That's why they disappear at will.
That's what the rumor has been. With what is it, the ranch, the damn ranch in Utah. That's what they're saying, that these things could just pop in and out of dimensions. Like here they are, now they're gone. And they were talking about Bigfoot a lot. They were talking about seeing Bigfoot and werewolves and shit. So that's some crazy shit.
Now a lot of things are misidentified, like over the years, and so many things like.
Yeah, the alien species stuff just fascinates the shit out of me. There's so much stuff.
There's a lot. There's more than even I remember. Believe it or not, people would tell me, they commend me all the time for remembering what I remembered and all the notes I've taken and stuff. But honestly, I've forgotten way more than I remember. These are thousands of files, 9.5 years, 8 briefings in total. My longest briefing was 9.5 hours. This shit is a lot.
So have you held anything back in your from your briefings that you're willing to share, that you would share, like say today as an exclusive? Like, is there anything that you've never told anybody that you would share with me today? So I told you I was going to come with some questions, buddy. I told you. I was,
there certain things that
you told me to be ready. I told you I'm going to be ready. I don't play around.
Are there certain things that I've held back? Yeah. Most of them, not all, but most of them have to do with weaponry, stealth capabilities, and defense. And I never talk about that because I can break down how to build some of that shit, and I'll never do that.
Gotcha.
But I was on a space one time, and somebody asked me about some stealth tech, and we've upgraded our stealth tech to where the other stuff, or at least one other version, I wouldn't mind revealing because it's been hypothesized already before. But that was such a small space, I don't think anybody ever heard it. And if they did, it was only a couple hundred people. So I guess that would be a first that I could reveal to you. So we have, and like I said, this is like Legos compared to what we have now. Well, our first version of how to make things invisible. Would you like to know how we did it?
Yes.
Okay, so nano cameras. So we had this design that we got from ETE-2 that was like, to them, it was ancient. It was like museum tech to them. And it took literally millions of nano cameras. And that would be like, what's that shit called? A wrap. You know how you wrap a car? Or you
Yeah, I got you. Yep.
It would be a wrap. It would be a wrap of nano cameras and projectors at the same time. This is how this tech works. So everything that was on the other side
it reflects
of the object,
Yep, I got you.
It would not reflect it, it would project it.
Project it on the other side. Right.
On the other side as a screen, almost made up of all these millions of cameras, while simultaneously those same ones that are projecting this are also recording what's on this side and projecting it on the other side. And that's why you can see through it, but if you look close enough, you'll notice a disturbance where you're like, what the fuck was that? All right. And like the craft in the Phoenix Lights in Arizona, they said they could see through it, where they could see the stars.
Yeah, they saw basically the sky underneath it. Yep, it was reflecting what the fuck was above it. Yep.
Exactly. But it was like certain stuff that was a little blurry. You could tell like there was something there.
Yeah, it looks like like the Predator. It looks like a hollow image. Yeah. And that's exactly what they showed in fucking Florida with those whatever the hell came through the portal.
So I don't know enough about that to speak on that, but I will say this tech it is real, and we perfected it, and it's archaic compared to what we have now, which I won't reveal. But that right there, we made so many different things of that. We made suits like that to where people would be invisible, soldiers would be invisible, and weapons. We wrapped weapons in it, everything you can think of. And then what you do is you use these goggles. And I've never revealed this, but use these goggles to where you can identify. You'll be the only one that can see the shit and see anybody that's wearing it. So you can see your whole team, you can see all your weapons, you can see all your vehicles, but no one else can see it.
Now, I don't know specifically what happened down in Florida, but I have a friend, Tony. He runs the Chaos Moogle channel on YouTube. It's a very big fucking channel. And he was getting a lot of information down there. And look, you don't get, what I do for a living, I'm a fireman, so obviously I work hand in hand with cops. You don't get a police presence that big for a fucking brawl. That police presence was every cop in the city and in the surrounding area was dumped to the mall. That is not something that's normal. So there's no doubt in my mind something weird happened in that fucking mall because there's weird videos.
I don't doubt that something was off, but it's very hard to have regular civilians as like cops all keep their mouth shut. Don't give a fuck who they are.
No, this is true. This is true, but who the fuck's gonna believe them? You know what I mean?
That is a state. But you usually would have like a whistleblower at least, or somebody say, look,
Yeah, it would be my dumbass, and nobody would believe me. That's essentially believe me. I get picked on all day by the guys at work. I get called fucking. You're gonna call Mork from Ork? I hear anything you could think of. I hear it. It's nonstop. I get my balls broken all day. You're gonna beam yourself up? Yeah, go fuck your mother. I'm gonna beam myself up.
I mean, I dig it. It's the stigma.
Yeah,
it's purposely created by the same people hiding it. They did all that.
Look, it's a stigma, but I know what the fuck I witnessed with my eyes, and it changed my life. It made me start doing this stuff. So. That's crazy. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you jump back in. So you're talking about the stealth technology, and that's what they could pass on. So that's good. What about MJ12's false flags? Like, what do you think they're going to plan like a big false flag, and their public acclimation program? It's dealing with something through Hollywood, obviously, right? Like we were talking about in the beginning. We were going to talk about the Steven Spielberg movie. What did you think of that preview? Like, I had just watched Close Encounters of the Third Time for the first time since I was a child with adult eyes, and like literally the day the preview came out, not knowing that it was coming out. There's no doubt in my mind that Steven Spielberg was either shown some shit or told some shit. And I'm basing that off of the poltergeist activity at the beginning of the movie. I'm basing it off of the radiation burns. I'm basing it off of how he had the bigger ships and he had the little companion orbs, which is stuff that wasn't talked about back then in the 70s. That stuff was not talked about. And then there's all the other things that just like, the fucking movie blew my mind. And then watching this preview, I actually watched it live with Whistling Mike, the whistleblower that I just interviewed today, that just released tonight. And bro, I had goosebumps through the whole, as soon as the alien voice, I don't know, there was rumors that was a real alien voice. I don't know what the fuck that was, but whatever that noise was, it caused my every like bump on my body to raise. It fucking, yeah, it was weird. What are your thoughts on that preview?
So, Close Encounters of the Third Kind had a lot of real information. I've broken that all the way down.
Okay.
And my original whistleblower document from 4.5 years ago, that dates all the way back to 72, when Bob Ebeneger was tasked by the Nixon administration to put together a documentary about UFOs that they were supposed to release Serpo stuff with and other things. And those files were given to Spielberg, along with some things from Blue Book that were never released, and a few other things. And then the actual exchange that took place in 1965 and then about a test site on July 16th was given to him and broken down, and then he put that at the end in a fictional way. The exact number of 12, Roy Neary was fictional, so you can't include him. So the exact number of 12 people leaving on board the alien craft and one alien coming out The only difference is instead of exchanging, the alien went back on the craft, but he actually was exchanged. And 2 women specifically. And then the big thick glasses to indicate where they were going was super bright. That's why they filmed it at nighttime so that Easter egg could be put in there on purpose. Now, there's a whole bunch of stuff he put in there. The Piggly Wiggly vans and all that stuff. The Greyhound bus they arrived on, like all that stuff. He put all those things in there. I actually read his debriefing that when he was snatched up after the release of that movie. Because they knew he was doing it, but to actually finally see what he put together, they were like, wait.
Yeah.
He's not supposed to know that.
Yeah.
We know he knew the other stuff, but that right there, he's not supposed to know that. Come here. And I read his debriefing, and at the end of the conclusion of that, they came up with the public acclamation program, and he would run it. And that's what he runs. He runs that, and I've released it. I've talked all about it. It's huge. I'm the only person that's ever blown the whistle on it. No one else even knows about it, as far as I know, that's come forward. And I know for a fact that he runs it. I've read these transcripts, and I've seen these files, and that's why he does all these alien movies. And he tells things in a fictional way, not as literal as what he first did, because they warned him not to do that. But I broke it all the way down in my whistleblower documents, pages and pages and pages. And he's not a bad guy. Like, he's a good guy.
Oh,
He's
no,
actually
not at all. I think he's
national icon that people know.
Yeah, I think he's just releasing the truth as best he can by way of movie in a slow drip.
He's instructed to.
Yeah,
is my point.
for sure.
He's given this information. He's given the information, but then told to tell them without telling them, so they're ready when we actually tell them. But then when they actually tell us, it'll still be in a deceptive way. So, anyways, when I watched this trailer, I just look at it and I'm like, I'll look at the mission program all day. So he's revealing paraterrestrials, but then I put together a post where I revealed 4 still shots from it.
Yeah, I saw the
monitors in the back.
Yep, I saw it. Yeah, North Korea.
Yeah, there are actual UFOs on some of these screens.
You think those are legit? See, I figured he would sneak some shit in there. That's what I figured he was doing.
So the point is, yeah, exactly. So, and they're looking at the oceans a lot on a lot of these screens.
Yep.
Craft a lot. And there's also World War going on with nuclear weapons a lot. Like, all that's going on, and I'm like, all precursors. All the stuff I said was coming. And, that indicates that he's not only going to reveal paraterrestrials, but also extraterrestrials, because he's got the craft and stuff. And it looks like a dump. It looks like a disclosure dump, but it's going to be told in a fictional way. Now, here's my thing. It's not scheduled to be released until June. He knows what's coming, and he knows when. So he would never have that released after a staged alien invasion where people can't watch it. So I'm of the position, and I'm saying it publicly, and I've said it publicly, that movie is either going to be pushed up on release or leaked early to where they have to push it up, or this expedition will be pushed back again till after the movie comes out.
Right.
I'm of the more likely position that it'll be leaked early and it'll be pushed up to where it gets released actually in like the beginning of March or sometime in March, to where then the state invasion happens, at the end of March or early April, and then boom, right? But it is possible that it could just be still in July. It's just there's one specific detail I've never revealed to anybody. I won't reveal to anybody, that still indicates that it's really hard for it to happen in July instead of March or April. It says spring. I can't reveal what that is without revealing the source, or at least the type of source. And I can't do that.
No worries. Yeah, I'm not going to try and force you. I don't want you to get in trouble and jam yourself up.
Well, even if I didn't do that, I don't care about that. One thing about me is they can go fuck themselves. I don't care about that. I'm talking about, I don't want to disrespect the person.
I got you. You ain't snitching.
I
hear you.
That's what I care about.
I hear you. Yo, that's just some crazy shit. So has any nations like China or Russia broken rank with the MJ-12 controlled programs, or are they still playing around?
No,
Nah, they ain't breaking rank.
no. Look at what Russia's doing. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. Look at what Israel's doing. They're doing exactly what they're instructed to do and what they're controlled to do.
Right.
Make everybody hate Jews. Continue to fuck everybody over and kill innocent people. Russia go invade prior Soviet countries, Soviet lands, make claims to things, threaten everybody, destabilize the Middle East. Hit everybody against everybody using politics and race and creed and color, religion, politics. Get everybody at their lowest point. Start World War III when you think it can't get any worse. Interrupt it with a staged invasion. It's all on schedule.
So the drone stuff, right? You mentioned that drones possibly are tied to soul processing. What exactly is that? And like,
I keep seeing that. I never said that.
Oh, you never said that? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know where somebody got that from. I never said that.
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
I think it was we were bouncing around.
Yeah, probably.
And we were talking about the drone stuff, and then we segued so quickly either to or from when I was getting ready to say the soul catcher technology from ETE3 and stuff. Okay. Yeah, one has nothing to do with the other.
Gotcha. All right, great. That's good because those fucking drones were scaring the shit out of me over my house last year.
Those drones
great.
They're so-called drones. They are connected to this stuff.
No, I know for sure that because, like I said, that's when I saw I saw the C-shaped craft, and then I saw the balls of light, the orbs, and I only saw them ever in my life when I'm seeing these stupid ass drones. So it was crazy to me. Were you shown evidence of the soul recycling and soul catching technology? And is the program shut down?
Transference is what they call it.
Is the program shut down, or that's still going?
No.
That's still going?
No, it's not shut down at all. And now, you mean the hybridization program?
I think you were talking about
because there's other consciousness transference programs. That's why I'm asking.
Oh, really? Okay, so let's go into those.
Well, it's just the main one is the one we use. When somebody important within those ranks, what they call important, is getting ready to pass on physically, what they do is they grab a CDE body that they created, and they'll consciousness transference. They'll transfer the consciousness from that to the new thing, activate the brain, and get all.
So they can live. So they can live longer.
Yeah. And that way they can just keep living.
So a human can essentially live on in an EBE's body. Exactly.
A
CBE. I'm sorry. I can fucking never get that.
Yeah, clone a biological entity.
Wow, that's crazy.
You clone it. It has no consciousness. You put consciousness in it.
And then
everything that you know comes with it.
Right. So like Johnny Hopkins is now fucking, Klingon from Kletu. Because now he's a CBE. That's crazy, dude. That is some crazy shit. But
the thing is, though, like there's also a physical thing that they also have to do with the brain in order to transfer the memories with it. So, you can do it. They have it all figured out. That's what they do. And then that's usually the one you see that'll be like all of a sudden immediate dementia, die off. And it's like, damn, dude, like it'll be like the Queen of England or, I'm not saying that happened where likely it did. And or George Bush, he was MJ1 for the longest time. And so, besides religious preference, I can't see being MJ1 not utilizing what you have at your disposal to continue on when you know your body's giving out. And you can't use GMS to extend your lifespan because they're going to be like, damn, George Bush been alive 300 years. You can't do that. So you have to use consciousness transference instead. And I've never seen evidence of any specific name. I want to make that clear. But I have seen evidence that they can do it. I've read transcripts of classified interviews with these doctors and scientists of successful trials and successful transference technologies that are perfected, following the trials and things like that. And it gets done. I know it does. And it's not the only way. Like I said, we can physically live up to 56,000 years. We wouldn't even age until we're like 55, 54,000 years old.
That'd be nice.
So we would regress.
That'd be nice. I wouldn't have any fucking gray hair right now. That's like the worst part of getting old. I hate it.
Back to our physical prime, and once the procedure is done, whatever that was for you or whoever, And, your HGH levels go right back up, your testosterone or your other type of, like your female hormones. I forget what the estrogen, I believe, but that goes right back to where it's supposed to be. And all your physical ailments get cured immediately. Any type of weight gain goes away. Any type of weight loss goes away. Any type of ailments, any type of sicknesses, you can never get sick again. You can never get cancer. Like it's not a cure for cancer. It's an elimination of the ability to even get it. It makes it irrelevant than anything else. And the only thing you can die from would be suicide, murder, or accident, or poison. And you still be poisoned.
Yeah. So you mentioned that there was, is this right? There was over 300 crashes from 1947 to 54.
There were hundreds.
Hundreds. God damn.
Hundreds. 47 to 54 between the Four Corners region and South Texas.
Okay, yeah. So I was going to ask you next, like what species dominated those? It was all just mostly the grays.
ETE 1 through 8.
ETE. Wow. Okay.
That's where we got them from. That's where we started encountering them all. But a lot of them were the ETE 1 through 3. A lot of them. But we started doing. Texas had like a little run there in the early 50s to where they started getting more crashes down there. But some of them we shot down, but a lot of them was just the craft falling out of the skies because of our nuclear detection equipment and because they have atomic engines. And that nuclear detection equipment was shutting the engines off to where the repulsion bubble would disappear and they would literally just drop out of the sky.
Damn.
And that's where we came up with the deal in 54. Said, all right, well, we'll turn that off and let you operate in certain areas that we approve. Because everybody's like, well, we don't need their approval, or they wouldn't need our approval. They would just come do whatever they want. Yeah, but they don't want to be known like that. They don't want to go to war with us. They don't want to do all that. Even then, back then, they would have wiped us out, but they don't want to wipe us out. They don't want to do all that. They want to operate and do their thing. But they weren't able to do that anymore once we put that up. So they needed to come to us and be like, look, man, look, we need to keep doing this. We'll give you this. We're like, all right, well, we'll give you humans. You just can't take more than this number every year. All right, deal. That's how it went.
Damn.
That's how it went. And the number would increase over and over and over. More species got involved. Went from 2,200 to 22,000 per year.
All right.
And that was just in the United States. It became worldwide. It's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people every year. That doesn't even include the catch and release. Those are the ones that they don't give back.
Damn, we're gonna have solar events too. That's fucking nuts. I'm looking through a bunch of collections that I'm questions.
That's a lot of misinformation with that. There's a lot of misinformation with that because a lot of people think that a lot of our catastrophes and pole shifts and things came from solar events when they didn't. They came from Nibiru events. And Nibiru is not due to come back for another 150 to 250 years.
So what can we do if the Trantaloids do invade? What can we do as a deterrent to help protect us? I saw something mentioned about bud bags and something with sewers. What can you?
No, that has nothing to do with Trantaloids.
Okay, all right. I don't know where
the answer to that is run.
Run. Do they have armor? Is there you compare them to Starship Troopers and they're shooting them and it's like fucking shooting through what look like cement. So
yeah. So from what I understand, they have natural plate armor along with their BDUs, their battle dress uniforms, same as us, but instead of camouflage, I'm sure there would just be reinforced plates made out of certain metals that would deflect any type of normal weaponry. But that same type of, even EMP stuff and particle beam stuff and acoustical, our best bet would be acoustical and stuff like that. But even that, when you're dealing with something that has an exoskeleton that's really hard and rough and durable, that's going to be hard to defeat. And then even if you mow down 500 million of them, when there's another 5 trillion behind them, what the fuck are you going to do?
Yeah, not a lot. You just fucking stand there and take it.
Yeah, they literally can just sacrifice so many just to get closer to be able to, once they're here, it's it. You know, and people just don't get it. Like, that species is the most hostile and hated species in the entire galaxy. That's a fact. And the GFL was formed as a deterrent for them. There was no other choice. It was either that or everybody dies or everybody gets enslaved or consumed. And that's why thousands of different planets came together with dozens and dozens of species and star systems to be able to form this galactic federation of positivity, or light, as they call it. And that Galactic Federation of Worlds name, it's where they say of light is the psyop. No, of worlds is the psyop, because they don't want you to know about the of light. So they tell you it's a gray psyop with some black ooze and all this. That's stupid. It's not real.
So do the Trantaloids have any type of weaknesses? Like, if, let's just say it does come to either fighting or running or whatever, like, do they have a weakness? Like, shoot him in the eyeball, shoot him in the head, water, you know, is there anything that they're weak to, anything that could easily help to, you know, obviously with their sheer numbers, but is there anything that could help?
As far as their physical weaknesses, I'd have to take a guess because I don't know.
Okay.
But obviously, the head is always a good place to start.
Yeah, obviously, yeah,
But
an insect.
as far as what I was described as their civilization, their main weakness would be like the idea they could lose. And that's literally why the GFL is a deterrent, because they know that that's the only force in the entire galaxy that could give them the chance to lose, because of the numbers.
Right.
If the GFL called in all their reinforcements, they could match numbers and technologies along with what we already have here, and there's a chance they could lose.
I'm just not understanding why the GFL just doesn't go and fucking wipe them out. Like, if they're that hostile.
That's 22 star systems of literally quadrillions of Trantaloids.
All right, and then I guess they could just. What's their? Do you know what their their mating cycle is? Like, what their incubation? Like, we're 9 months.
I don't.
Kittens
actually,
or whatever. I'm curious about that.
I would
like,
imagine
how
it's pretty quick though.
Yeah, because they're
With
insects.
larvae,
Like, bed bugs
like
are
that.
fucking 5 days. You could bed bugs are do double in 5
I'd
days.
imagine
6.
most insects are pretty quick.
Yep. Yeah, I used to be.
Most insects live quick lives. So.
Ironically enough, I was an
know.
exterminator before I became a firefighter. So it's pretty funny.
Oh shit! Yeah, I'm not sure.
So what ultimately can we do, or like what can you leave us with as like, you know, like what as a species, as humans can we do, and what else can we touch on tonight that can help us, you know, get to where we need to be so that way we don't get abandoned?
We need a one world government, point blank period, by the end of 2027, or by September 24th of 2027. That's a fact. And we will have one. The thing is this, what we don't need is a new world order.
Okay.
There is a difference. So basically what it comes down to is we need to come together as a species without the Majestic 12, the Zodiac Group, or the Magi Committee being involved, without them being the perpetrators. The only way to get rid of them is to come together as a species and force Congress to what they keep calling the legacy program and shit. That's MJ-12. That's them. And the only way is to identify, detain, and replace them in their entire Magi Committee. Because you can take down MJ-12, but if you don't take down their committee that are carrying out all their orders throughout the United Nations, none of this will stop. There's almost 300 members in the Magi Committee that answer to MJ-12 in their compartments, and then the 12 themselves. You know, so you have to take down over 300, we'll say about 300. And if you don't do that, it'll continue. So, but if you do that, then everything stops. Because you're not just taking the head off the dragon, you're slaying the dragon.
Right.
You're taking it off the board. and everybody will just be left there to sit there. But then you still need to, like, you can't do that without a plan to still come together. Now, I have a plan, and it's use honesty, transparency, and disclosure.
Yeah, just tell the fucking truth.
Come together.
Yeah. How hard is it? Hey, if we don't come together, we're abandoned, and then just show us. You know what I mean? You show us a goddamn video of what a Trantaloid can do. I'm pretty sure people will fucking fall in line real quick.
Yeah, not only with fear, though, you also want to use the same things, but I wouldn't use it as a manipulation tool. I would.
There's a truth.
Very precisely utilize these technologies to improve our wellness, and our lives to where they trust us. And I wouldn't do it to get the trust, but the trust would come regardless. And, you can tell the truth about religion and all that without hurting religion. It would actually strengthen it if it's presented correctly. Like, there's so many things that people think would go wrong that if it's presented with honesty correctly, with transparency and integrity, with the right people on board with you, it'll be received way better. And we could use that. And then I have a plan for all that. I wish I was part of the cookie cutter, whistleblower regime. I wish I was part of something to where I could, be taken serious when I put my name in the hat to be the authority for this. I wish. The reality is that I'm not, because I have all the integrity in the world to do it. And I'm uncorruptible, and I have no party affiliation and nothing.
Nothing wrong with that.
No favors I owe, and no one could get to me.
Is there anything that I didn't touch on tonight that you would like to touch on? Because I don't want to leave anything out.
I guess mindset. I don't want anybody to look at this and say, well, consequences don't matter or life doesn't matter, because it still does. Everything still matters. And the after plan is really amazing. It's just MJ's fucked up plan to get us there. That's the problem. So this, the more likely event is that we can't stop it from coming. You just need to be prepared to not just survive it, but thrive it. Get your shit together. But at the same time, still live life. It's not meaningless. Your outlook and your mindset have to be there, really appreciate those in your life, man. Like, really appreciate them and don't take them for granted. If somebody really loves you, especially if they love you to the point where you think they love you too much, embrace that shit, because it's not guaranteed to always be there. And just don't take people for granted anymore. Don't take life for granted.
Life is short.
And
life is short.
Life is short. And if you thrive through all this, lifespans will be extended by hundreds of years. There won't be cancer anymore. Won't be any of that. But we got to get rid of MJ. Even afterwards, if the GFL don't do it, we got to do it. So the more people we can make aware, the more of a resistance we can put together afterwards. But not going to be done with violence. It's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
They'll just use that as an excuse to mow us down, or an excuse to say, look, they are animals.
That's the truth.
We got to do it a different way. We got to use intelligence.
That is the absolute truth. Charles, this has been great. I don't want to keep you too long. I want to thank you again. We could do a part 3, no problem. If you're down, I'm down. We could do a part 4 and a part 5 until it gets through to people. I'll see what I can do about getting you in contact with Luna and Burchett, because I'm trying to reach out to them myself. So if I get the opportunity to interview them, which is what I'm working on, I'll pass your information along to them. I can't promise you they'll listen or take me seriously, but I'll 100%, do my due diligence and try and help you out.
Well, you can play what I'm about to say for them as a clip.
Absolutely. Let's go.
If I could get a one-on-one phone call in private on straight cell phone number status type shit with Burchett or Luna, especially Luna, because she oversees the entire thing,
mm-hmm.
like I did with Burleson. but I'm talking like a 1 hour thing instead of 15, 20 minutes. Like 1 hour, sit down with me and just talk.
Mm-hmm.
Ask me anything, hear what I have to say. I guarantee you, by the end of that, you're going to be realizing that you've been wasting your time with a lot of whistleblowers that you've been interviewing. And not to say anything about those people who are their characters, but they don't have the level of detail that I do. And then some of them are pushing a narrative on you. And I don't think you're aware of it. And some of them aren't even aware of it. They're doing what they're told and what they believe is right.
Yeah, I'm sure they got bad actors on their
manipulated
staff too, like people that claim that they're doing the right thing, but they're not. They're doing what's what they're told to do. So there's probably a lot of that
There's a lot
going
of
on.
misinformation. Like even stuff that I've seen Congress talk about is literally pushing the narrative that is for this entire thing. So that's what I would need. Just like a cell phone number and permission to call.
Okay.
And then I call. And it would be on three-way like this.
All right.
And I'd never violate anybody's number. I would never do that.
Yeah, I'm the same way. As you've noticed, I don't violate your trust. I don't tell anybody anything you say to me privately. I don't share none of that. There's plenty of people I talk to that I just keep it between me and them. I'm not gonna jeopardize somebody. You're the only thing you have in life is your honor. That's how I look at things. You know what I mean? All you have is your word as a man. So when you violate that and you break people's trust, that fucks it up for you. So yeah, I'll see what I can do.
Your word as a woman, absolutely, 100%.
So I'll see what I can do for you as a man, and I'm not gonna make promises, but I will say that if I get the chance to speak to them, I'll 100% bring you up and try and get them to talk to you.
Sounds good, bro. Let me get my little shout outs real quick.
Absolutely.
My little Grammy speech.
No, you good. let it rip, brother. Let it rip.
I want to shout out Rick Doty. You get a bad rap, and it's not fair. You've been, briefing Senate staffers for 2-3 years now. No one knows about it 11, 12 times with your files in their hands. There's a reason for that. And I know you personally. I know you tell the truth. And I know that you're pro-disclosure. And I know you know what's coming, but you don't talk about that. And that's fair because it's classified 100%. I just want to shout you out, man. Let you know I ain't forget about you. It's been a few weeks since we've been part of any type of group discussions. And before that, it's been months. So just keep your head up, man. I pray for you and your wife. John Stewart, always keep your head up as well. You and Brian.
Uncle John. Uncle John. I love Uncle John.
Uncle John, absolutely. Burleson, it's been a month or so since we've spoken. I hope we can reconvene and figure something out. Get that staff up here, like you said. And then you up here after that, if we can, like you said. Talk to Grush. See what we can figure out if Steve Bassett doesn't get in the way again, I guess. Shout out to Steve Bassett. I know you're just doing your job, bro. But please get out of my way. Please.
Yeah, that was just strange that he reached that he connected with me on LinkedIn. That's just I'm having a lot of weird coincidences like that lately, man, where I'm doing these things and weird shit keeps happening. So I'm like, all right, obviously I'm clicking the right buttons, I'm assuming, because people are random ass people are connecting with me on LinkedIn. That caught me off guard.
Let's shout out my followers on X. You guys really push my information out there. Or the information, not really my information, but the information out there with all these reposts. For me to get 70, 80,000 or 100,000 views in one day when having a quarter of those followers, that's on you guys, man. You guys are doing that. And
yeah, your followers are rabid, man. Your followers you got some devout people, dude. That's great.
I really do. And, they really push it and they know it's not a game. And the ones that identify themselves as trolls, we get rid of them. We don't allow trolls in our comments section. We get rid of them. Shout out my mother. She holds it down. My father. They know that I'm innocent. They know that I'm telling the truth with this fear as well. 100%. And I appreciate them. I don't talk to my father as much as I probably should. But last but not least, man, I want to shout out Autumn, my wife.
Autumn the Angel. That's right.
Listen, man, I love that woman more than she knows. And I really missed her today. Wasn't able to spend any time with her today. I really miss her. You probably hear it in my voice.
Yeah, man. I hope this interview didn't cut into that, buddy. I would have,
Not at all.
Okay.
No.
Right. I don't want to take time. I don't want to take time away from you and the lady, brother. You know that.
It didn't. Trust me.
All right.
It didn't. But she's such a good woman, man. And I hope I just continue to make her happy. That's what I really want, man. I just want her to be happy. And I don't want her to be stressed out or nothing. I just want her to be happy too. And her mother, I want to pray for both of them, pray for everybody's health and everybody's wellness and everything, man. And, shout out to just everybody in that family, ups and downs, whatever. I just want you guys to be good. And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. You're right, brother. Thank you. I haven't heard that. Just a happy holiday bullshit. I'm a Merry Christmas guy. So yeah, absolutely. Merry Christmas to you too, man.
Yeah, I say Merry Christmas. And I'm for the happy holidays as well.
Me too. But I celebrate Christmas.
Happy birthday for me. I just don't believe in mandating what I can and can't say. Right? So.
I'm the same way, brother. I'm a big free speech guy. Listen, somebody says Happy Hanukkah to me, I say it right back. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, that too. Happy Hanukkah. I know MJ's behind the whole Jew thing, and I get it. I'm not, so I don't take sides, man. I just shake my head at this shit.
Mm-hmm.
But, I get it. So I just sit here and say, man, Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year. Make your your resolutions actually stick to that shit.
Yeah, well, time's running out, so let's get this shit going.
Without question.
All right, brother. Is there anything else you want to shout out? You're on Truth Told. What is it? Truth Told?
Yeah, at Truth Told 24 on X.
Yep.
Real Charles McNeal on Instagram, even though it's a private account, so I don't let everybody on there. Facebook, that's personal. I leave that alone. I've deleted hundreds of people off there. Actually, I'm now like 81, maybe like 79 friends on there now.
You should. I'm on Facebook. You should be able to. You can. I can send you my Facebook if you want. You can add me if you like. There's no pressure.
That's
no pressure
like I need some personal space.
Yeah, I understand completely.
Try and keep that like that. Yeah,
no, understandable. Understandable. Like I said, there's no. That's why I always tell people. Like I'm on Signal. I'm on Facebook. You can add me wherever you want. There's zero pressure on my end ever. I always keep it at that person's comfort level. You know what I mean? And
I do need to build up my following on YouTube though. I don't post much on there, but I think it's UFO Whistleblower CM for Charles McNeal.
I'm not sure. Hit me up with a link.
It's got my selfie on there. So if you look up anything else, any other channel that doesn't have my selfie on there, it's not the right channel. There's other stuff on there with me.
What I'll do is I'll because there's this new thing that they offer now, like a collaboration. So I'll do I'll offer it because what it does is it pushes it off of your following, my following, and whoever else. So I'm going to collab with my gaming channel as well because that's got the larger following, and there are a lot of UFO people on there. So I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna collab with your YouTube, and then my new one, the VITO channel. Like I said, I'm hoping to get that blown up.
Having a TikTok created soon.
All right.
To where I'm going to turn my written briefings and stuff and releases I put together into like AI videos that like play it out almost as I narrate it.
Oh, the phone you could do that. You could do that using Sora, man. There's an app called Sora. You could do that. There's Mid-Journey. There's a bunch of them. I've talked
to Tyler a lot about Sora. I believe Sora too, and we've been trying to make it work. It's a little difficult. So,
you got to get your picture. You got to
tell the AI to do shit and don't do it.
Yeah. You got to trick it sometimes. Like I've been messing around with it, making myself like Superman and shit. It's been fun, but you got to trick it. But you just got to get your camera and you say 3 numbers, turn your head 2-3 ways, and then that's it. It's got you, and you could just do anything with it. It's kind of fun. But it'd be kind of cool because then, you know, you could make videos of you and your wife together spending time doing dates and you know, it's silly little video game stuff, but it's something to warm your hearts and make you, you know, give you something to look forward to. So yeah, look into it.
I miss the fuck out my wife. Dude. I love her so much. That shit, I do.
I hear you, brother.
So I know what that means when she hears it.
I hear you. People take things for granted. You know what I mean? But you know,
People take life for granted in general. Yeah.
You'll be out of there, you know, hopefully soon at some point, and then you'll be able to spend time with wifey.
Without question, I hope so, man.
But brother, I want to say thank you. I hope I didn't keep you and your roommate up too long. We can
Actually, let me stop you there. Let's pray for my roommate. He's in the hospital. He had a stroke today.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
Yeah, so we'll call him Wolverine.
All right.
Nickname he's got. So
Let's
Wolverine, man. Get well, brother.
That's my favorite superhero. Absolutely. Wolverine, get well. Got to be chilling with your roommate back soon. But Charles, thank you so much for this opportunity to interview you.